well, something big that happened on social media last night. I'm sure you guys have heard about it. We've teased it here in the caption. The Fake News Awards, the first ever Fake News Awards put on by President Trump. Highly anticipated by everyone.
Oh my gosh.
Media members and just people who are just interested to see what the heck he's talking about. What is this about? So they posted the results of the awards, right?
They sure did.
The winners on the GOP website. Unfortunately for them, there was a crash on the website. At least that's how they're posing this. There was some sort of crash.
Exactly.
And so everyone was
up
ticked.
in arms.
They were ticked off.
People were pissed.
People like Chrissy Teigen,
Yes.
John Legend's wife. She's also a model, but she's very opinionated when it comes to being online, and she's been banned by President Trump in the past.
It was like Chrissy and President Trump have been going at it for months.
It's the most interesting.
She made one comment about him being unintelligent, and then he blocked her.
Or whoever, his team.
But
She was
very
blocked.
much in line with these fake news awards that all basically have to do with the Trump administration and no other news that's been going on for the last year. But in terms of who won the awards and who was left off the list, we have CNN at the top of the charts winning 4 of those 10 or so awards that were put out. The New York Times has 2, and then ABC News, Washington Post, Newsweek, and Time each received 1 mention each, if we want to call it that, an honorable mention.
It's just really interesting that we're talking about these awards, about an industry, coming down on an industry that we are of, right? So we're journalists in this industry, and it's interesting that, and I said this when President Trump became our president, right?
Okay.
I had said, if there's one thing, if there's a silver lining to take away from this or to find, is that he's holding the media accountable, right? We're triple checking everything that's going out and everything that's coming out of our mouths, at least more so than ever before, because some of the things he's talking about, and while you have this point, right, that everything that he's saying
what point do I have?
Is true. And what he was saying about the fake news, however you want to define fake news, maybe there needs to be a definition in the book, but all of what he's saying is true. There were misreports by the media. It's just highlighted into one award show.
I feel that I'm the truth merchant.
Oh.
That's why I'm here today.
Buddy.
And if you've seen any of my Blender commentaries, which I know you're both forced to watch, but I seek the middle. My job is to seek the middle. Number one, my opinion, the president initiates contact with the media. He baits the media. He teases the media. He plays with the media like he's the puppet master. And if you watch CNN every night, and I'll surf in there once in a while to see what's going on, the anchors and hosts at CNN are literally falling off their chairs and vomiting because he's got them so mad. And I think he's doing it intentionally. So,
but doesn't he have better things to do?
I would, and again, I'm trying to be down the middle. Yes, one would think the president has better things to do. There's never been a president who goes the way that President Trump is going. To his followers, he's draining the swamp. He's going after cleaning up Washington. That's how it's packaged, and that's their truth. And I'm not one to tell them that they're right or wrong. But I am saying that when the president last night published those top 10 lists of fake news reports, fake news, whatever, all of those 10 that he listed were grossly inaccurately reported
and this
stories.
was the first one on the list. The New York Times' Paul Krugman claimed on the day of President Trump's historic landslide victory that the economy would never recover.
Right.
Paul Krugman says markets will never recover from Trump. Dow hits record high. And the
I would beg to differ that that's a fake news report. I think that a lot of economists were feeling that could happen. So I think that that's an opinion piece, and a lot of people felt that way. Yeah. So I'm not necessarily, it turned out to be incorrect in terms of a prognostication.
Let's talk about what fake news is.
Okay, so I have the definition
via
Wikipedia, because fake news is not a real thing. But anyhow, fake news is a type of yellow journalism. I mean, in terms of the Webster Dictionary appeal. Yeah. Fake news is a type of yellow journalism or propaganda that consists of deliberate misinformation, keyword deliberate, or hoaxes spread via traditional print and broadcast news media or online social media. So there is this nature of it having to be malicious and deliberate.
So the stuff you see on Facebook that looks like clickbait, that is a completely false, made-up stories that people go, and that is what fake news is by what definition is this?
That is the Wikipedia definition,
okay,
but when
Wikipedia
Merriam-Webster
to
dictionary
President
gets it.
Trump, which
Yes.
if it's not officially in Webster's dictionary, is it a real word? He can say whatever he wants it to
Right.
be, right? And he considers fake news as just misinformation.
It's his world we play in right now.
And if freedom
It's
of
his world.
speech, we have freedom of speech. He has
Yes.
freedom of speech. I'm
What?
also
Okay.
playing that middle ground here because I'm just trying to understand why.
But see, in playing the middle ground, we have to look at facts as facts. And
and
the
that is a fact.
ACLU, yeah, definitely. The ACLU put out a list of about 10, I want to say. Oh, no, even more. 20 things that President Trump has done over the last year that he's been in office
absolutely.
that can be called against the First Amendment.
I
And
would
just-
not. I would not expect the ACLU to have anything positive to say.
But it's
about
not even about
President
being
Trump.
positive. It's
Just
about
like we
keeping
wouldn't
people
see
in
President
check.
Trump
It's
anything
about the
positive
checks
about
and
media.
balances system. And if Donald Trump is going to put the media on a checks and balances system, it's nice to have somebody doing the same for him, I would say. So I'm
what's
going
on
to read
this
to you some of
list?
these things. Number 3, which aligns with what is on his list for fake news reports, demanded the Washington Post fire a reporter over an inaccurate tweet about the size of a rally that he hosted. So much
remember
like
this,
what
the
happened
photo.
with the inauguration photo, where he thought that there were lots of people there, more so than Barack Obama's. A similar situation happened, but at one of his rallies. I don't have that picture to bring up
I
for
will
you.
tell you what happened at that rally.
Okay.
I would say the president's analysis of the inauguration crowd was highly inaccurate. Okay,
Was that fake news?
Highly inaccurate, and that's one. Now, the tweet that you're mentioning, where it was posted, "Small crowd for Trump rally," was taken 2 or 3 hours before the rally began and posted as "Look at the crowd during the rally." There was a huge line outside the rally to get in. Once the rally began, the place was overflowing. So you would have to then ask the reporter or the person who put that picture up, who worked with a news organization, what was your grind in trying to look like nobody cared about then candidate Trump? Because that was inaccurate reporting.
Okay, so apples to apples, though, and I want to hear from you guys at home. Same situation. You're taking a picture, you're misrepresenting facts. Is that, I think in his case, the reporter's case, that is fake news because you
I agree.
intentionally did something wrong.
Exactly.
I don't know what President Trump's intentions were. We can only assume, and he likes things to be bigger
He
and
wants
larger.
everything to be big.
Exactly, and it wasn't.
Okay, he put out his list of 10.
Yes.
Okay, we got that. I looked at the list. I can see his point. If you want to put out a list of things that he's done,
Yes.
the list could be 5,000. Okay?
Not scary.
I'm not saying one way or the other. I'm saying we don't have that list. I think various news operations have put out fact-checking tweets about his tweets, and it doesn't look good. But we're focusing today on the top 10 list of fake news reports about him, and I believe those are accurate. That's not saying that blah, 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 this and that. If you put together an alternate list of things that he's misreported, that would also, I think, be highly accurate.
Okay.
But I'm saying I believe many people in the media personally dislike him, and it comes out in their reports. And I think CNN is guilty of that, and I think MSNBC is the same way, although they don't portray themselves as being middle of the road. I think MSNBC is the alternative to Fox News. But CNN, I think, traditionally has tried to be the voice of reason, but more so in recent years, when you watch them at night, it's clear they're very angry. Their hosts are very angry at the president for whatever he's done that day. And I don't know that that's a good look for them. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that what they're reporting or saying is inaccurate.
Okay.
I'm saying that, to me, for a large organization like
bias.
CNN to be like opening their newscast with "he's
Don
a
Lemon.
racist,"
You're talking
or
about Don
he's,
Lemon
or
this
they're
past
literally
week,
Anderson Cooper and Don Lemon have tears in their eyes of anger, and
But
it's
is
like,
journalism
okay,
different
whoa.
in 2018?
It is.
Are we, and I'll say we because we're collectively in this industry, even sitting here today.
Right.
These platforms weren't even opportunities for us.
That's so true.
A couple of years ago, because you have to remain unbiased as a journalist, you can't have an opinion. But as we creep into this more, this diverse world of journalism now, where they want you to have conversations about things. You
Mm-hmm.
look at The View, even though it's on ABC, it's
Right.
their views. I mean,
It's
the
not a
show is
newscast.
called The View. It's not a newscast.
Don Lemon show is not a
Is
newscast.
not a
Anderson
newscast.
Cooper show is not a
An
newscast.
opinion equals personality. You go to any host class, that's the
Exactly.
first thing they're going to teach you. You want to be a personality, you want to come up in this business as a personality. Anderson Cooper, seen as a personality. Don Lemon, personality. You have to have an opinion. So,
Yes.
not to say that your opinions are right or wrong to others, right?
What you determine or what we say is media means many things now.
Right.
Media used to be newspaper and television newscasts.
Correct. Uh-huh.
Cable TV comes along in the late 70s, early 80s, and there's been such a graying of it's like CNN is highly liberal, and it's like, well, those are kind of shows. They're not newscasts. If we were in our 5 or 6 a.m. newscast to say, blah, blah, blah,
Exactly.
the president is out
Right.
of line or something, that's over the edge, I think.
So when President Trump-
to the viewer, though,
Okay.
what we're talking about now,
Right.
CNN, it's all the same thing. It's been a blurring of the lines so that people really don't know when a newscast begins or ends and when a talk show and opinions. And if
right.
it's CNN, they're being, it's like that's talk. It's opinion.
So
you
some of the
vote
comments
for
coming
who
in
you agree with.
explain exactly what Walt is saying. So Nicole Gates popped up and said, as a viewer, we want you to give us the facts.
Yes.
We're not stupid. We don't need you to give us your opinion. We have Facebook for that. We have shows like
I'm
this.
sorry, you have Facebook for that.
But it's,
Wow.
that's
To
interesting,
share
though.
opinion.
You
To
can
share
share your opinions, and it's actually where we find out how you
Yeah.
guys feel and what fed the need for a show like this,
and help
so we can hear
navigate
back from
the
you.
conversation,
Yeah.
so that we
Exactly.
can say, "Oh, this is a point that maybe we're missing in this conversation."
I'm glad
You're like
that-
our fourth host here.
I'm
Exactly,
glad.
I love that.
I'm glad there is Facebook for opinion, although the opinions are getting redundant and stale. But don't go to Facebook for your news, because
Right.
I see so many false stories from fake websites that are shared, and people, and I'm like, I can see the fake ones right away. Other people just take them, and it pains me because at times I have to jump into some of these conversations with people I don't even know and go, "Did you fact check this?"
Right.
You have 500 people calling people serious names, and this particular story you're forwarding never happened, and they're like, "Oh, sorry." I'm like, really?
Then we
Don't
have
do that.
People who are inundated with information, like Kimberly Morgan says, she's watched too many programs to just believe anyone anymore. She has what I had the other day, the conspiracy theory mind,
Right.
where anything could go wrong. So she takes her time to believe what she reads. And that's important and that's great. But when I think back to months ago when President Trump blocked whole organizations and reporters, news organizations, from his press briefings, I think about what that does to the diversity of journalism in terms of the content that not only we're receiving, but then able to put out. And it scares me, and it scared me then, that a president would have so much control over the information allowed to get, to news media outlets.
The president and the red states feel that the reason that he's done this is because they're grinding him and they are criticizing everything that he does. Is that good for journalists? No, it's not that he does this. I don't think it makes him look good. But there's two sides to every story. And I'm only saying that from his side of the story, what's the point of having press briefings with people who are clearly there to play gotcha, Mr. President?
Right.
To him, he doesn't want to hear it. The red states don't want to hear about it. So here we are, completely divided. This country is completely divided. And the people in the red states don't want to hear anything about the president. The people in the blue states have wrung their insides out with angst and it's like
dramatic.
there is such a wide. However, today we're talking about the top 10 list, and that top 10 list of fake news articles that the president put out is an accurate list.
What he
Again,
considers
if
fake
you want to do
news.
tomorrow's show about the 5,000 things the president has done that are similar to this top 10 list, then we can address that. But
No.
for today, I believe that list
Okay,
is
let's talk about-
very
That's
inaccurate.
the way that my
report.
dad
It's
likes to
been
argue
proven.
about things that I do in the house. You can't argue one point of what you said today, but not bring in the history that brought you to that point. You know what I mean?
Well, I
So
want
if
to
you-
talk
I
about
think
some of these that
I
you're
think
talking
we all
about.
know where this all
On
is,
this
though.
list, is it, and I'll ask you, because we're in this conversation now, when a journalist comes out with something that they honestly think is true, because maybe it's something that they observed or something that was true in that moment, and then it ends up being that it was false, and they come back and retract the statement and correct themselves, is it fair to call that fake news, or is that journalism in the process?
I think that in Brian Ross's case with ABC, his information was way off on one very big fact. It caused the markets to drop.
Right.
And this isn't the first time that that's happened. I feel that the news agencies that dislike the president, and there are many, there's a fever in their newsroom, and it's a fever that he's got to be stopped. And I think that they look at that as their journalistic calling to try to move facts forward.
I can see
and
that.
sometimes in the rapidity of getting there, they quickly will go with a story that maybe needed a couple of more eyeballs to check on. But I think if you, like I said, if you watch a CNN every night, their whole thing is every night. I can't believe he said or tweeted that today. Let's bring in a panel of 8 people who all agreed that he's mentally unstable. And then the next day, there'll be another tweet or something else that's said, and they'll bring 8 different other people out, and they're wringing their insides out. They probably can't even eat when they get home because their insides are wrecked because they just can't believe every day that he's done something.
But with this list, if you're anti-Trump, when you see this list, you're going to laugh, you're going to disregard it, you're not going to care. If you're pro-Trump, you're going to. If you're pro-Trump and you see this list, then it's going to just amp it up even more. It just makes
having
it
fun
more
with it.
divisive.
They're having fun
if
with
you're
it.
a Democrat,
Okay.
I think they're having fun with it.
That's what I see it as.
Yeah.
It's like, what is this? What did he think these were going to do?
Right.
What is the purpose in putting
He's messing
this
with
list
people.
out so we can sit here and argue
that
and
he's
become
messing
more
with people.
divisive?
I think that this is more or less a republication of his tweets over the last year. And I think we saw it enough in his tweets to get the picture. I think this might have been going a little bit too far.
What has he already not done? What could he do that you would go, whoa, that amazes me?
It would amaze me if he were to come together and put an end to the divisiveness.
That's
this
not gonna
fuels
happen.
the fire. But why not?
I
I
am
think
saying
as a president, you take an oath. An oath to say, you know what? I'm going to bring our countries back. This is the way it works when you have a two-party system.
This is about
At the
Trump
end.
and him winning, and he's made it this far doing what he's doing, so he's going to continue to do that.
I think
It's just not
everybody.
helping us as a country.
I think Donald Trump, the candidate, was not fake. Donald Trump, the candidate,
gave it.
let everybody see exactly who he was.
Oh, absolutely.
And for all the red states, they elected him.
Not the popular vote, but the
totally
Electoral College, right.
I just go, he's not a fake.
You're getting
and he
a
rolled it
shout-out
out
here.
there, and absolutely people were like, you either take it or you don't. This is who I am. And he, he belittled people in the debates, and Crooked Hillary, Lion, Ted, Little, Marco. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then the Billy Bush stuff. So, all of that was right there, but a good part of America doesn't care about that.
Right.
They look at that as, we're changing it up, we're draining the swamp, this is a new way of an unconventional president, and he is not politics as usual. That's all many people care about.
And we have people who
David Wong.
are chiming in all over on social media. So go for it.
David Wong, that's what they want. Well, for us to be divided, so it's hard for us to unite. To stand united, David Wong goes on to say, Herbert Mesa Jr., or Senior rather, we need more news programs like Frontline 60 Minutes and Extra Shot.
Yeah.
Well, we're not.
We are.
Fortunately, we're not a newscast, so we're able to say these things. If
We
I said
are.
these things on TV, I'd probably be down at Mr. Pickle's sandwich place
Not
making you a
Mr.
nice ham and cheese
Pickles.
at about 3 p.m. today.
Oh, Marilyn Rowland wants us to let Walt talk.
I feel I've talked.
He's talked
fair
a
amount.
lot.
I feel
He's
I've
up
said
here
my
talking,
piece.
yeah.
No, I again, as I said at the beginning, I want to be straight down the middle on this, and I want to be fair, and I'm not grinding one way or the other. Do I think the president has been out of line on multiple occasions? Absolutely, but it doesn't seem to matter.
But it
doesn't
should.
seem to matter to those people who elected him. And this list that came out today, these are all big screw-ups by New York Times and CNN to go with stuff that was completely inaccurate and that provided the president a top 10 list to put out today.
It did, but it also, as I have been saying, and I almost sound like a broken record, it's just adding fuel to his base and adding fire and separation to the country.
And if
we
you
want-
ask, what does Trump want? Would you say that is what he wants?
Twitter
Continue?
tells us that that's what he wants all the time, but
So
he literally wants to put up a wall outside of our country. That was another one of the trending topics today on Twitter. And
Are you more offended by this top 10 list than if he said S house or S hole regarding Haiti?
Right.
I mean, for a lot
They
of
all play in the same
for a lot of people,
world.
that was like the 400th and oh my gosh, the final straw. And then this to me is small potatoes.
See, this to me is
This is
silly.
an accurate
I
top
see
10
this
list
and
of
I
people
go-
who have misreported his stuff. To me, this is small potatoes.
And what an award, it's award season right now. We have the Oscars coming
he's
up.
messing
the
with
Golden
people, man.
Globes
It
just
is-
happened.
He's
I'm like,
messing with people. That's what he's doing. He's messing with people. You know?
okay, I understand an opinion writer for the Times messing with people. I understand Wendy Williams messing with people.
Wendy
I do.
Right. Which she
I
does every
can't
day.
see a politician of his stature that was bestowed upon him by the great people of this country messing around with the people that he has been asked to lead into the next couple years of his presidency.
Is that your overview of his administration, or is this specific to this list? Because your overview of the administration has a lot of merit to it. It's like everything that's
But even
happened
this list is
from the
fueling
primaries through the
fire.
first year, there have been 100 things that would get other people in serious trouble.
see.
This list, I don't feel, gets him in any trouble at all. I think people are laughing
He
at the
teased
media,
it.
which they do
Okay.
anyway.
He
Larry
teased it
Short
last
says
week.
that POTUS should have his own game show. Fact
well,
or
yeah.
CNN?
Well,
You
he
hear the
did
shade?
have a show, right?
Well,
and
yeah. It does
That's
go
he
to show
comes- he-
exactly.
He came from that world, and we knew that. And we knew that coming in. And if you didn't vote for him, then you're obviously not happy with the decision. If
Sure.
you did vote for him, he is doing everything that you thought he would do.
He was straight up, and he
his
was
base is
he was
happy as
not
heck.
not fake. He was completely honest during the primary. You either vote for me or
Absolutely.
you don't. And a lot of politicians are not that way. So but I mean, like I said, in subsequent shows, we could go through. Oh my gosh, I can't believe he did or said that, or is he crass and crude and and all of that. And I would have to say, wow, you got some serious. There's credibility in that. But he's not fake. You either voted for him or you didn't.
Christopher Word wants to know if Lisa Kennedy from Fox News made the list. Fox News did not touch the list, and that is not surprising.
Why would they be on?
Exactly.
They're an arm of the administration.
Yeah, that is an
Sean
extension.
Hannity should be chief of staff.
So the facts, you guys want
Don't
the
make me
facts?
laugh.
This is what happened last night.
Yes.
GOP
Ooh.
website posted a list of fake news awards, and the winners of those awards on them were CNN and some of the other news organizations, ABC being one of them. And so here's the list. You can look it over. The things that he's putting on here, or his team put on here, are true. They were misreports.
Right.
Is that considered fake news? It depends how you want to define
In
fake
this
news.
administration,
In this administration,
these
this
are
is fake news to them.
misreported stories with the intent of gotcha, and it failed. They provided him with that list. And they handed it to him.
You know
So
what
does
this
this stop
administration
here,
is
or does
good
this
at?
does this keep going? It's just one of those
Rebranding.
like any award show. It just stops there. Then here's till next year.
This puts people on their toes. That's it. That's what I have to say about that.
All right.
Let us know what you think. Continue
Yeah.
to do so.